Hey y'all. Today was really cool. I was watching this online conference. I really wish that I could have gone in person, but I had a conflict and couldn't go, so I watched online. There was this pretty well-known pastor, Rick Renner, and he was talking about different stories, and two stories really, really touched my heart, and I just had to share it with you guys. So he was talking about the importance of listening to God's voice. When you feel that nudge in your heart, even though it may not make sense, you have this nudge, you have to listen. And so he gave a couple of examples. So he lives in Russia, and so he had flown in to Chicago for an event and went to the church and got to see his old friends and hung out, went back to the hotel, took a nap, and heard this nudge that he was supposed to stay at the hotel. He was not supposed to go to the church that evening for the event, and his wife could go, but he was supposed to stay. So he told his wife, I don't know why this came to me. I don't understand it. And it just kept bothering him and bothering him. He's like, why did I feel this nudge? Is this you, Lord, you telling me to stay? I don't get it. And so he just thought about it, and he's like, I'm going to go ahead and get dressed. So he gets dressed, and he heard a tap at the door. And so he said, oh, no, they're here. They're ready to pick us up, take us to the church. He opened the door. No one was there. And he told his wife, oh, my gosh, the driver must have went downstairs. So he told his wife to get ready and to meet him downstairs. So he went downstairs, and the driver was not there. So he's a little puzzled. But anyway, the driver ended up showing up. They took off, went to the church. And on the way to the church, he kept feeling that nudge. He told his wife, I just keep feeling like I'm supposed to stay. But he went ahead onto the church. He got to the church, got to see his old friends, have a nice visit. And as they entered the church, the Lord told him to go back to the hotel. So he's like, you know what? I'm going back. He told his wife, I feel a nudge. I've got to go. You stay. I've got to go back. He left, and then he took his sweet time. He went and got dinner, went to a store, bought a couple of things that he needed, took all this extra time, gets to the hotel, goes up to his room, and notices that the room is open. He's a little puzzled. He walks in, and someone had broken into his room. They had stolen his wife's expensive jewelry. It was completely gone. He was in the middle of writing 5 books. Those books were stolen. His passports were stolen. His laptop. Everything, all of his private information, everything was gone. And in that moment, he realized he heard that tap at the door. And it seemed like they were just checking to see if they were still there or if they had already left to the church. But God had told him to stay, and he didn't listen. And he went ahead and went on to the church, and then he took his sweet time coming back to get back to the hotel. And by then, it was too late. He said, oh, if he had actually listened to the Lord and sent his wife, stayed there, nothing would have happened. No break-in would have happened. He still would have probably been puzzled, not understanding why the Lord kept him at the hotel. But the Lord knows the enemy's plans. So the Lord was warning him to stay. And in that, he learned his lesson. He said he definitely learned that he has to listen to God's voice. Even when it seems crazy, we have to follow. And I thought, wow, that is so true. That really touched me. Then he went into another story back in 2004. His family was planning a trip to Sri Lanka, and they were going on a vacation for Christmas. And so they got their tickets. Everything was reserved at this resort. Everything was all good. They're preparing for this trip, and the Lord told him to stay, not to go on the trip. He's like, what? And his son reminded him, remember the hotel incident? So he said, okay. He was really upset, but said, okay, we're not going. So they stayed home. They did not go on the vacation. So Christmas came. They had Christmas. The 26th, they're sitting there watching the news, and they were completely shocked. An earthquake had hit the place that they were supposed to go vacation at. And a tsunami came and totally wiped out the hotel, the resort that they were going to be staying at. 200,000 people died. That was so touching to me. We have to listen to the voice of God, those nudges. So this is just something for you guys to think about. Is also good for me to think about. We have to listen to that nudge. Just do it. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if it seems crazy, just do it, period. God has a reason. He's protecting us. He cares for us. Stay blessed.